Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Albion, the West Brom podcast run by myself, Josh, and I'm here today, as ever, joined by my dad, Matt Wild. If you'd like to come and introduce yourself again.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Matt Wild, Josh's dad.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking more about West Brom like we always do. It's been a while. I think this is our first episode of the new year, so a very belated Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a good festive period and you're enjoying the new lockdown that we're in. There's been a lot of football going on since we last did an episode of this, so we'll get straight into it. So the first game that we had was against Leeds. That was a 5-0 loss. Do you have any thoughts on that fixture, Dad?
No, only I guess that I feel the same as everybody else at the time, that was all very disappointed to have lost in such a manner in the way we did against Leeds United. You know, we didn't put up any fight or any show. Leeds were just too good for us, basically, and we deserved to lose. So yeah, very, very again.
Yeah.
It sounded like a bit of a scratch record, but disappointing performance, disappointing result all round, really.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you there. And I think we'll be saying a lot about that for the next few fixtures that we've got coming up. After the Leeds loss, we then had a very similar Groundhog Day experience against Arsenal, which was a 4-0 loss.
Yeah,
In the snow. That wasn't the
I
best of
know.
days, was it?
There's really no positives to come out of these games, really. Again, 4-0 loss at home as well. I was really hoping that we could have got something out of the Arsenal game, because they seem to be having a bit of a stop-start season themselves.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be, and they went out 4-0 winners against us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a shame. I'm currently living with an Arsenal fan, so it was a bit of an annoyance to see so many goals go in. But say what you want about West Brom, at least the games are entertaining. So after that, we had our second win of the season, a very rare occurrence at this stage, and it was against our local rivals, Wolverhampton Wanderers. What were your thoughts on the game, Dad?
Well, a huge sigh of relief for starters. You know, we secured the bragging rights over Wolves again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and which was great for all local West Bromwich Albion fans, and indeed across the country and world. We've got the Dingles bleating on about how they are the biggest team in the Midlands and the Black Country and all of this, you know,
Yeah.
and again, they failed to beat us. We walked away with a 3-2 win, a
Yeah.
much more solid performance all round from the team, which is probably the most frustrating thing, really, because you know they get battered 5-0 and 4-0 against Leeds and Arsenal, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they,
Put in a
against
performance.
all predictions, they put a shift in. They put a performance in. We scored 3 goals.
Hmm.
I think only the second time this season. You know, yeah, we did leak a couple of goals in, but even when Wolves went 2-1 up, our heads didn't drop. We carried on, and as you know, we equalised and managed to get the winner. So that's the most
Yeah.
frustrating thing, really, being an Albion fan. I think, Josh, is that one week we can get absolutely thumped, and then the next
Well,
week
it's more
we
like
can.
most weeks you get absolutely thumped at this rate, but yeah, I do get
Yeah, do
it
you
is
understand what I
frustrating.
mean? So obviously the players can do it,
Yeah.
and that's my point. So why don't they do it more regularly? Is there something more behind the scenes which is are stopping them from wanting to perform to
Yeah.
that level each week? Because obviously they can do it, you know.
Hmm.
So it's highly frustrating, really. But still, the 3-2 win against Wolves was welcome, very welcome indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely delighted with the performance, and delighted with the 3 points in win at Molineux as well. you
Yeah,
know. So
indeed. It seems that we do have a bit of a stronger chance of getting an okay result when we're not playing at home at the minute.
at the
So
minute, yeah,
and it's been like
yeah,
that for sort of the last, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 years when Darren Moore was the manager at West Brom. He had a perfect away record, and then last year towards the end of the season we were doing a lot better away from home than at home. So maybe there's this new mental blockage of performing at home, or it's
that's
I'm not
right.
too sure what's gone on. I would say that we were quite fortunate in the way we won with 2 penalties, but you got to be in those positions to get the penalties, and it was the first penalty we had all season, so I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I think the first penalty was really, really close. I think it was quite fortunate to get that penalty, to be honest. But still, the referee decided it was on the line. Very, very close call that was.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll take that all day long. What I was worried about, the game prior to this was the FA Cup defeat on
Hmm.
penalties against Blackpool. That game ended 2 each, but we failed to convert our penalties in the shootout, and the person really to
Hmm.
blame was Piera, who had scored a penalty earlier on in the match,
Yeah.
but failed to convert his spot kick in a penalty shootout.
Yeah.
So when we had the second penalty against Wolves, he'd already scored the first penalty, and I think I was all thinking the same thing: is he going to be able to convert the second penalty?
Yeah.
And thank goodness he did. He took it really well. He took both penalties really well,
Yeah.
and I think overall we deserved the 3 points, and
Hmm.
kept Wolverhampton and nice and quiet for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to say that probably the second half was probably the first time we'd probably kept a clean sheet in 45 minutes since the Sheffield game. So it was good to see that we could defend and score some goals at the same time.
yeah.
Um, but then
So
anything else you want to add to that, Dad?
no, just again a Jay's header, great. Obviously, you could see that they've been working on that on the training ground, and
Hmm.
it came off for us against Wolves, and no, highly delighted with that result. I think we all were
Yeah.
on that. So
Yeah, definitely. All right. So moving on from the Wolves game, we had a one of the more recent games we've had was the away trip to West Ham that unfortunately ended in a 2-1 defeat. Pereira scored a great goal, like he normally does, but unfortunately couldn't quite get them defensively with them scoring two. And any thoughts on
yeah,
that game?
yeah, that's right. Again, it was a much more improved performance than the performances against Arsenal and Leeds. You know, we went there with a plan. It didn't come off for us. We just could not find that equalising goal
Hmm.
at all. You know, and if you look at where West Ham are in the league now, obviously it seems that they're doing something right, and they're getting. They've got quite a strong team together. So yeah, we could have really done with a point down at West Ham,
Yeah.
but we just wasn't quite good enough to find that equalising goal. Not a bad performance really,
Hmm.
but nevertheless not a winning performance for us to get any points out of the game from. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, as I said, I think the only highlight from that game really was the Pereira goal. But then again, another
yeah,
quite funny clip that emerged from that was when he put in a challenge against Antonio and got absolutely battered and fell on the floor. I don't know if you've seen that clip, but it was quite funny to see.
yeah,
Um, so any
yeah.
other thoughts on the game, or should we move on to the
No,
next
I
one?
don't think so. We can just move on to the
Yeah.
unfortunately the 5-0 mauling against Man City the other night.
Yeah. That brings us on to the Man City game. Unfortunately, that was a 5-0 loss. Bit of a VAR/referee incident in the game. Do you have any thoughts on the game, Dad?
Um, no, only that the quality of Man City just outshone really right from the fight, right from the start. I think we
Yeah.
had 3 minutes of at the start of the match, and then it was just all Man City for the rest.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't see us scoring, to be honest, and they were
No.
played quite sensationally, really, considering it was pretty much the same team that got a draw at Main Road.
Yeah,
It was at the Etihad Stadium now, not so long ago, but it just seems that Man City are on a completely different level, and it
yeah,
showed. It completely showed. I wasn't. Um, what could I say?
yeah. I think
I
Big
wasn't
Sam.
surprised at the result. Put it that way.
No, I don't think anyone was. I think right from the get go when we saw the lineup, I know that I we've got to have to rotate some players every now and then, but he changed the team that had done really well against
Yeah,
Wolves and done okay against West Ham, but players like Bartley, who'd been tremendous for us in recent games, was suddenly dropped for some reason. Carlin Grant was brought back into the team, which I thought was a bit too soon. And I
yeah,
I don't know his natural position. I don't know if it's a striker or if it's the left mid, but he was played on the left when I think he should be played up top. And it just seemed like Big Sam doesn't know what the good the our strongest team is at the minute. And to come into a job and be like to be chucked in at the deep end, you need to know from the get go what the strongest team is. I know he likes Sawyers. Unfortunately, I don't, so I don't know why he starts him, but he must see something good in him. So it's all a bit baffling to me at the minute what's going through Big Sam's head.
I know. You mentioned Sawyers. He was caught out a couple of times against Man City. Just ball watching. You can't make you can't do that in the Premier League. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
he's got to be quicker than he is. He's got to be first to the ball.
yeah,
You can't mess about on the edge of your box the way he did. Just ball watching. You give players like that kind of space, and they're um, they're going to score. Unfortunately, yeah, the VAR incident, the offside incident, I think that you're referring to, where the linesman had flagged for offside, and it seemed like the majority of our players was standing there waiting for the referee to blow the offside whistle. The whistle didn't come.
yeah,
Man City score, quite a screaming goal, to be honest. Great goal, but when our defence were all just standing there appealing for offside, um,
yeah,
and then the ref decides to disallow the goal, only for VAR to get involved and say, no, it wasn't offside, and they award the goal. So a bit
yeah,
harsh, really. But like they say, you
yeah,
got to play to the whistle. The players did stop. You can see that quite clearly. So it's their own fault, really.
yeah,
They should have played to the whistle um,
yeah.
instead of
I
standing
think
there.
there is an argument to play the whistle, but as far as I'm aware, there's been a lot of rule changes recently, especially with VAR and offside. And as far as I was aware, the VAR assistant, or not the assistant, the linesman is, or in this case, lineswoman, um, they're not supposed to flag for something unless they're absolutely sure it is offside. Um,
Hmm.
and even if they think it's close, they're supposed to wait until it goes out of play or it goes in the back of the net, and then they're supposed to flag for it. And you could see in when the incident happened, she did hesitate to put her flag up at first, and then put it down, and then raised it up. And I think at
Yeah,
that point, the players thought, okay, this is offside. The play's going to stop now. Um, and I think that the Premier League have introduced too many rules around VAR, and I think it's just not working out. Like it happened to Aston Villa two or three. I think it was
yeah, that
about
was
two
a
weeks ago, which
very,
was
very strange decision, that was.
yeah,
Uh,
and that decision changed the game for them. So I can understand them being a lot more upset about this than we are about our game because we were
mm,
already losing at the time
mm,
and we weren't going to get into the game anyway. But
no,
it's just like I don't know what's happening anymore with the rules. I just go in and hope for the best.
yeah,
So
yeah. So, yeah, Man City, by far the better team,
yeah,
deserve to win 4 or 5-0,
yeah,
regardless of that incident anyway. So, yeah, not a good performance again. And I totally agree with you. It just seems to me that Big Sam doesn't know what his starting 11 is, doesn't know the best positions for our players,
hmm
keeps picking Sawyers. Um,
yeah. I think we've
dropping
been caught.
dropping Bartley, I just don't understand that one at all. Dropping Gallagher, don't understand that one at all. He's
Yeah,
been one of our most consistent players, you know.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
So
it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next game. But before we get into the next games, let's have a quick little review of the league table as it currently stands. Um, so Sheffield are still bottom of the league. I think that wouldn't change for at least a few weeks, but they have recently beaten at one stage the league leaders Manchester United. Um, and then one second, this is just loading up. My
that's
computer's just
right, Sheffield
frozen on
United.
me. um,
Oh, is it? Are we
yeah,
recording?
we're still recording. It's just the actual the web page is frozen, so we're still good.
Okay.
Um,
So yeah, Sheffield United had a really good win the other night against Man United, beating United 2-1 at Old Trafford, um, which is a little bit concerning for ourselves.
mhm,
Um, so I don't think they'll be fortunate enough in the next match because they're playing Man City away at the Etihad.
yeah,
So and then the game after that is against ourselves.
mhm,
So that's Sheffield United, bottom of the table on 8 points.
mhm.
I can't see them getting anything out of Man City, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
hope so. Man City seem to be flying at the minute, so let's hope that they continue that. But Sheffield have had recent luck against Manchester teams, so you
yeah,
never know.
I do think Man City will be a bit too strong for them at this time, though.
Mhm.
Although it was a great performance by Sheffield United, I did watch it the other night, and they played much better, much stronger. Um, so, which
Yeah,
is a little bit concerning for us at the moment, this moment in time.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then we've got Fulham, who are still above. Well, we've got us in 19th on 11 points. But in front of us, we've still got Fulham. They are on 13 points. They've had some good results recently. They drew against Tottenham with only like 2 or 3 days notice of playing them. They lost against Chelsea recently, and I can't remember what their last fixture was, but I think they might have got a good result out of that.
it was Brighton. They played Brighton last night. It was a 0-0 draw. Both teams were going at it to try and get the winner,
Yeah.
but both sides couldn't score, couldn't find the net.
Yeah.
So that game ended 0-0.
Yeah, that's probably
Um,
the best result for us, though, because Brighton are in and about it, so
yes, that's
them
right. So
keeps them down. Because they Brighton are in 17th place. They're quite a bit above us at the minute. They are, I think it is 7 points clear of us. Sitting in that 17th spot on 18 points. Um, with them having drawn, won, and lost in their last 3 games. But then
that's right.
sitting above them on 19 points is Newcastle United, who seem to be in a bit of a free fall at the minute. Um, I think their last win was coincidentally against us in that 2-1 victory for them at St James's Park. So
That's right. So we look at Brighton. They're 7 points in front of us. Their next two fixtures are Tottenham and Liverpool. I can't see them getting much out of those two games, if I'm honest, although Liverpool have been struggling themselves to find goals in recent matches. But I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will be
mhm,
sorting that out with them. So I can't see many points coming Brighton's way over the next couple of matches.
no,
And again, it's difficult for Newcastle. They're due to face Everton, who are a different team altogether this season. They're playing some really decent stuff. So I can see Everton winning that one, and then um, Crystal Palace maybe a draw,
yeah,
possibly.
mhm,
Palace aren't a bad side, as we know, but so either a Palace win or a draw out of that one, I can see. So
yeah,
these next two fixtures for us are extremely vital. We
yeah.
can pull ourselves within a point of Brighton, if we can get something out of these next two fixtures, which is
We've got
Fulham.
Fulham. We've got Fulham on Saturday, and then on the following Tuesday we have got Sheffield. And I think I would be correct in saying that these 2 games are very much season defining for us.
I think you're absolutely right there, Josh. They are must-win games.
Yeah.
Can absolutely must-win games for us.
Yeah.
So, like I say, if we can get 6 points out of these, I can see us coming within a point of Brighton, and that gives us a real good fighting chance then of overtaking them
Yeah.
in the coming weeks
Yeah.
uh, ahead. So
But they're not going to be very easy games because obviously Fulham did beat us at the start of the season, and we only just by somehow scraped through the win against Sheffield in the 1-0 win at the Hawthorns. So it's going to be
that's
very,
right.
very, very tough for us. I think that if we do lose both of these games, I think we will be seeing the back of Sam. I can't imagine that the board will want to keep him after all the losses that he's had so far and all the goals he's conceded. So I think if we lose those, we probably will lose him as well, or he'll resign before he gets the chance to ruin his perfect record.
I do hope you're right. I really hope that's the case, and
Yeah.
I really can't see what positive change has come from appointing Sam Allardyce. I'm still baffled. I'm absolutely baffled still. I can't see what positive outcome has come from sacking Slaven Bilic and appointing Sam Allardyce. I think the football's got worse.
Hmm.
I think the players don't know what they should be doing.
Yeah.
I struggle to see the game plan. I just see long ball. Um, I know we got
The win against
the win
Wolves.
against Wolves, but I think that's just glossing over the cracks
Yeah.
in the team, in the football club itself. There's still mass confusion about who owns the football club. There's reports coming out that lie. Our chairman only owns 2% of the company in China that owns West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah.
So how can he be named as majority shareholder? Things just do not add up in the football club,
Yeah.
and so the win over Wolves is kind of painting over the cracks a little bit. It gave us something to cheer about against our local rivals, of course.
Yeah.
But these two next games, like you say, are season-defining games for us. Must win if we've got any chance of staying in the Premier League, or if we want to stay in the Premier League, to be honest.
Yeah. I think, well, as we know, Championship is a lot more fun for a yo-yo club like us because we do win more in the Championship, or we like to think we win more in the Championship. Certainly more entertaining football, I have to say. But again, I would like to keep the Premier League title because it is quite nice to say we're a Premier League club. But if we don't get 2 wins out of this game, I think
Yeah,
I'll be getting the Championship wallpaper ready. So yeah.
I think you're right there. So Sam Allardyce was quite open and blunt that we needed new signings, new fresh faces to freshen up the team and the squad to give us a chance of staying up.
Yeah.
And the only action that we've seen so far is Snodgrass joining us from West Ham on a permanent deal.
Yeah.
I think we're all quite pleased about that. He's played a couple of matches now under Big Sam,
Yeah.
and he seems to be quite a decent addition to the team.
Yeah.
Quite pleased with that signing.
Yeah, I think he's a really good. I think we got him on a free, and I think he's got loads of experience behind him. He knows how to play football, play for good teams. I think in that Wolves game, he was very instrumental in us getting the win. Um, but I was surprised that they had inserted some sort of verbal agreement with West Ham not to play him against West Ham because in games like that, we need to have the strongest team, and I think he could have made all the difference in that game. But if it was a case of at the end of the season, if we stay up, I'll be like, brilliant move, putting
Yeah,
like having that contract in. But it was a bit baffling, and the FA seemed to find it a bit baffling as well. So they had an investigation, but fortunately, nothing came of that. So yeah,
yeah. There's not been any news on any kind of punishment for both teams on that, but at least we got Snodgrass's signature, and he's part of our club.
hmm
We've seen one of my favourite players from last season, Kronovic, leave to go to Nottingham Forest. Big Sam's cut his loan from Benfica short with
Yep.
us. Obviously, he didn't like Kronovic, so he's left. He's departed to go to Nottingham Forest. I think he'll do quite well there.
Yeah, I hope he does. He's a great player for us last season, particularly towards the run-in. Very good. So yeah, I wish him all
Yeah,
the best. Yeah, I think he was one of my
yeah,
favourite players.
yeah. So thank you, Kronovic, for last season and everything you've given us. And we wish you all the best playing for Forest. But the other in the rumour mill, we've got the Galatasaray striker. I can't quite pronounce his name
I
properly.
think it is Diagne.
Diagne from Galatasaray, looking at a loan deal, and
Yep.
news just breaking for us is that he's just completed a medical to join us, so he could be joining us within the next 24 hours. We're just waiting for that confirmation
Yep.
announcement now.
Yeah, he looks to be a good striker on a very. I have a feeling that the loan deal is with an option to buy at the end of it, and I think it is a fairly cheap price for a striker that I think Galatasaray are in the Champions League, so potentially lots of quality coming to us for very cheap price. So I'll be looking forward to see what he's like. And let's be honest, he can't do much worse than our current forward. So he's got low standards for him at the minute. So
Yeah, let's hope he can settle in quickly and start banging the goals in, providing he gets the service for a start. And he'll only
yes,
get the service if players like Snodgrass and Gallagher are playing in the side, and they can
yep,
provide service for him. To be honest,
yep. The only other player that we've had come in is a backup goalkeeper to replace the Jonathan Bond, who's now gone to LA Galaxy, is Lonergan from Stoke. But again, that's just a backup goalkeeper
that's
for the
right.
moment.
And other rumours persist. Jesse Lingard from Man United. I can't see it happening.
No, I think I saw a thing uh, just before we started this that he's now gone to West Ham on a loan deal. So I think that has run its course, and I'm pretty sure we won't be getting him now.
Yeah, yeah. I really couldn't see that one coming off myself. And there's also rumours and reports in tonight that we're interested in Celta Vigo midfielder. I believe his name's Yokulsu. I can't again pronounce his name properly either.
Yep.
Seems like a decent player. Turkish international
Mm.
is what we need. Is quite a strong midfield player
Yes.
to replace the likes of Livermore, in my opinion, who just doesn't seem to be doing it at the moment for me and needs to be
Yes.
replaced.
I would say so as well, but I think we need to. My pecking order goes Sawyer's, then Livermore.
Yeah,
So I think, yeah, but yeah, I think it'd be quite good to see if we could get him in before the deadline day. I think Big Sam is using Brexit as one of his reasons as to why he's not bought as many players as he has, but should really plan for that. So
yeah, and it's just an excuse, really. And we all know that the board and the owners aren't investing any money into the team at all anyway. So
yeah,
let's just see what he can bring in to strengthen the squad.
yeah, that is very true. Well, I think that sort of brings the episode to a close. Just out of curiosity, as a final question, what would you say our strongest lineup out of the season has been so far? Because we are at the halfway stage now. So I know I've just sort of thrown this to you, but what would you say our strongest starting 11 would be going forward?
Well, that's a good question because, as we know, we've had some great performances out of the team this season so far. Obviously, Liverpool away was a really good, deep, strong performance
Hmm.
to get a draw there. We had a really good performance against Man City away, under Slaven Bilic, his last match in charge.
Yeah.
Um, a really good, strong performance against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So like I said, the players can do it. But I probably would say maybe Robinson up front, Piera,
Hmm.
Gallagher,
Yeah.
in um, um, yeah, we know Sawyers isn't good enough in midfield.
Yep.
So, what would you choose in midfield alongside
Well, I think
Piera and Gallagher? We've got Snodgrass in the team now as well.
yeah, very true. I think formation wise, I'd be looking at four at the back, two holding midfielders, three attacking midfielders, and a striker. I think
Yeah,
I would have Gallagher and Livermore in the two holding roles, and then Snodgrass, Pereira, and probably Dean Garner, if especially if Grzyski goes, and then probably at this stage probably Robertson up top, but him or Grant I think would be fine for me.
yeah,
Um, I think I would have Furlong at right back with Bartley and Ajayi at centre back, and
yeah.
then Gibbs or Townsend are on the same level for me. So either of those guys, and I think Johnson is a given for goalkeeper.
For the goalkeeper. Yeah, yeah, I'd be happy with that. And we'll see if we what this Diagne
Yeah,
player is all about when it seems like it's a dead cert. He's joining us now. He's passed his medical, so like I
yeah,
say, he could be the striker up front for
yeah,
us.
yeah. Let's hope for a new super striker. We've had Super Kev, we've had Super Bob.
Yeah.
It's time for a Super Diagne, I reckon.
Well, let's hope you're right, Josh. Let's hope you're right, and he's available in time to play Fulham at the weekend. I don't know if he will be entitled to play. Actually, if he signs tomorrow, I don't know if he'll be signed in time to play Fulham. Certainly, he'd be available to play Sheffield United.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't think he'll have enough time to train with the team if we're getting him against Fulham. So I'd rather go for Grant or Robinson in that game. But let's just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Definitely.
Cool. Right. Well, I think that brings the episode to a close. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, let's just hope for 3 points against Fulham. What's your score prediction against that?
Um, I'm not too sure. You never know. I predicted a win last time and we got thumped 2-0. So I'll go for a nice 2-1 win, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll settle with that. 2-1 win to the Albion. Piera and Robinson, the goal scorers.
Brilliant. Yeah, I don't mind who scores. They could be own goals for all I care. So, but it'd be interesting to see what happens. But as I said, that brings to a close the episode. If you haven't checked us out already, check out our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Talk Albion. Got a nice little group on there following now. I think we're over 200 page likes now, which is pretty good for us. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you never miss an episode of the Talk Albion podcast. And yes, we shall see you next time. Up the baggies.
The bag is, and thank you for listening, everybody. Boing, boing.
Boing, boing. All right. There we go.
Wow, very good.